Hey everybody, welcome back to We Are Podcast. This is Slash Horrorcast, Season 4, Episode 19, King Kong vs. Godzilla. If this is your first time checking out the podcast network, we appreciate it. Please head over to your favorite podcast app, Spotify, Stitcher, Podbean, or iTunes, and give We Are Podcast Network a like. And just a reminder, Slash Horrorcast is a weekly live videocast available on Twitch and YouTube. We go live every Monday at 8 p.m. Central Time at twitch.tv/We Are Podcast Network and youtube.com/We Are Podcast Network. As the Slash Horrorcast is live, I will not be editing the audio for this podcast. So what you saw live is what you get here. Please come watch the stream every Monday at 8 p.m. And if you want to see the previous streams, go check out our Twitch or YouTube channel. And for a full list of future films we'll be watching, please head over to Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at /We Are Podcast. All links can be found in the description. And with that, on to the Horrorcast.
Slash Horrorcast.
Hey everybody, welcome to Slash Horrorcast, where we talk horror movies from the past every Monday at 8 p.m. Central, even though it's a little closer to 7:30-ish. I'm your head cam counselor, Duck. I'm here with other head cam counselors. We have Javi. Oh, I'll bet Kong has no chance. Virez. Javi, why would you think that? And he froze. Javi's going to freeze in and out every once in a while on this. His internet's
a lot. It's going to happen. I apologize in advance.
It's fine. It's fine. Next, we got Miles. There's no time to argue. Destroy him, Francis. Miles.
Yeah, dude. I also didn't have time to watch all this movie, so my bad. But I watched as much as I could fit in the last hour.
You're fine. Just get the last 10 minutes and you're good to go. Next, we got Raph. You dumbbell Ramirez. Raph, what's up?
I'm pretty dumb when I hear some bells.
There you go.
No?
There you
All right.
go. Next, we got Jay. King Kong could kill us all. You wouldn't care. McClintock. Jay, how are you?
Pretty accurate. No, I'm doing good. This one took me back. I liked it.
Very nice. And finally, we got Joey. The storm will awaken Kong's inner strength. You'll see. Johnson. Joey, how are you?
Good, man. Good. Just, weathering the storm of my own life, but it's making me stronger. I felt like I had to play on my quote like everyone else. That
Absolutely.
Very good.
No, it was good. Good. Here, I'll change it. Do you think King Kong smiles? Johnson, there you go. There you go. All right, running to we watched King Kong versus Godzilla 1962. Running time 97 minutes. Budget 432,000. Box office 800 million. So this made some money back. Did pretty good. Synopsis: a UN in Japan. What? China? What? They didn't play this in China. Synopsis: a UN reporter broadcasts a report of a live appearance of a prehistoric monster that emerges from hibernation while a pharmaceutical company seeks publicity with the monster of their own. God, that was hard to get out. I apologize. It was like a tongue twister. Lots of big words in there. Watch a trailer.
Banana.
Da-na-na-na-na-na. All right, here we go. Trailer time. Look at that poster.
Oh shit, we didn't watch the cartoon?
Did you watch the cartoon? You're in trouble, bro. The mightiest monsters of all time.
Dude, there was a giant squid in this. That was by far the most terrifying of the monsters.
King Kong versus Godzilla.
Releasing a trail of terror to his Japanese homeland. Captain, water in the conning tower.
We're all fucked down here.
And they all died.
Godzilla! Roaring defiance to the only enemy strong enough to challenge the unconquerable King Kong.
This is almost like a joke trailer, and I freaking love it. It might be
So good. The dancing.
Did y'all enjoy the yellow blackface? Because
That was hilarious.
yeah.
We call that Steeler face.
Man, that was a long ass scene. They danced around that fucker forever.
All right, it's good enough for the trailer. Yeah, that was ridiculous. Except for the girl with the big tits, I enjoyed that part. That was
It was the
amazing.
coconuts.
They had some haughty tribeswomen in
Yes,
this movie.
they did.
That's for sure.
So if you pause it, you'll see there's some guys there. So I hope you clip that.
I didn't. I barely got that part because they danced around him for a long time. Like
Long
you said.
time.
All right, guys, let's talk about our history with the movie. Joey, you picked it. What's your history?
This brings this like one of my core memories growing up. I remember it came on TV once, and this is back when you had to like plug in the camera and record. Like if you wanted to record something on the television, you had to plug in your video camera with the tape in there. And I had my mom do that for me. So I had a very early version bootleg of this movie growing up that I watched probably at least once a week. And then recently, probably about 5 years ago, 6 years ago, we all know Tyler Elliott, fellow comic. He has that great joke about the DVD bin, the $5 DVD bin at Walmart is a bird feeder for white trash. And and sure enough, I found it and I have the DVD. And it's somewhere packed away in my boxes right now. But I watched the link you sent. But yeah, I have the DVD, and it's definitely one of my favorite good bad movies. It's a solid one. I love this movie, and I thought it'd be a good change up too. So
oh yeah, lots of fun. I want to go with my history real quick. I love Godzilla movies. When I was a kid, we used to rent them and or borrow them from the library all the time. So versus Gigan, versus Megalon, versus God knows what else. I've watched pretty much every single one of the original Heisei era, I think it's what it's called. The original era of it, and then like the 70s and 60s versions of the stuff. And then once you get to like Godzilla 85, like I kind of fall off because 85 was released and then most of the other stuff was just released in Japan and not released throughout the 90s. So the early stuff is what I love. And this is top tier Godzilla for me. I freaking love this. This is only the third Godzilla movie ever released, and there's a crazy history to it, and we'll get into here in a minute. But it takes me back to just watching these movies with my dad and my brothers and just loving this shit. Because pre Power Rangers, we had Godzilla and big monsters fighting. As we were all about that stuff. So Hobbs, the anime man, does this remind you of anime at all? No, I'm just kidding. Godzilla style. Do you like it? What's your history?
I'm not well versed in the lore of Godzilla.
Moving on.
I
Oh, he froze. Damn it.
do love
Oh my god.
aesthetic.
You love the aesthetic, you said?
Fucking mini. Yeah. Never mind.
Avi sounds like Jet Jaguar over there.
He sounds like he's auditioning for the reboot of this film right now.
So
Close all the porn links.
No, you said you love the aesthetic, but you didn't watch most Godzilla when you were younger.
Yeah, like I was an Ultraman kid. That's all I watched.
Oh damn, you go even more hardcore than Godzilla. Godzilla is a little bit international. Ultraman, that stays in Japan. So
that's wrong. It was broadcast here in America in 1991.
Well,
on
it
Fox.
rhymed, and I'm sticking to my opinion. Let's go to Jay. Jay, your history with the movie.
I actually saw this movie the first time at daycare, Hunter's Glen daycare, and I guess we'll call it 1988. It was fun. We, a bunch of screaming kids, and then they decided to let us watch this. I could have sworn, and I was looking for the scene, but when we were kids, the part that made us all giggle like children do is when Godzilla's shooting his flame breath, and we thought it hit King Kong in the balls. And so, of course, we all saw that, and we just went screaming. But yeah, man, I'm a huge Godzilla guy, man. I got real obsessed with it in the late 80s, early 90s, and yeah, man, this is definitely top tier. It's unfortunate for King Kong. I think King Kong really got shafted in production design, but
he's outside right now. Do you hear that? What the hell was that?
He doesn't like Jay talking shit about the way he looked in this movie.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So the getting hit in the balls.
The 60s.
So getting hit in the balls is actually Gigan shoots electricity at Godzilla's balls. So you don't have a false memory. It just wasn't in this movie.
No. King Kong. We thought it was King Kong balls.
Oh yeah. Well, Godzilla gets shot in the balls.
Yeah, I know that.
Ding dong.
What was that noise? Whose thing did that come
It
from?
was probably a moped, a crackhead with a moped and no muffler that passed by.
Okay, fair enough. That was very specific. You knew very well what that was.
He knows what the sound of crack lighting up on a moped sounds like.
It's coming on the way back.
Raph's cousin just got home.
His name is James.
All right, let's go to Miles because Raph is muted. Miles, what's your history with the movie?
So I saw this with a kid with my dad. We didn't really ever bond over a lot of media because he found most of the stuff I watched to be pretty stupid and vice versa. But this was one of those areas that we'd cross over and enjoy these monster bashing movies. So I'm not sure exactly. Like, honestly, they all kind of bleed together to me because I'm not really a super fan. I like the idea, and if nothing else, I think this movie is an incredible example of like using miniatures to create film. I love that watching it back.
Agreed with you. And Javi said
Making these movies is just like playing with toys, I feel like.
Oh, it's so awesome. If I could go back in time and make one of these movies, I totally would. And if I could make one now, I totally would. Like, it's just, I love men in suits. Like, it's so much fun. All right, Raph, what's your history with this movie? You never saw it before, or you've seen it before?
Actually, this is the first one I saw, and I remember seeing it multiple times when it used to show on I think Saturday mornings or Sunday mornings, but I don't remember it being this long. I think it was probably like an hour long. This was fucking yeah.
It was only 90 minutes, dude.
Yeah,
it feels long because the beginning. The beginning makes it feel long with all the
cast.
Yeah, that makes it feels like a longer movie than it is.
Which was added for the American version. So getting into it, this is a different version than the Japanese version. I didn't know that. There had always been rumors that based on the country you watched in, whether Japan or United States, your monster one based upon that. So Godzilla for Japan, King Kong for the United States. The truth is, it has always been the same ending, but they changed pretty much everything else in the movie. So they added so much shit for the American version. That's why you have so many American actors and stuff like that. That was all added. The original version was a comedy, and you can still see some of the elements of the comedic actors and the Japanese actors, but most of it is gone. They cut it out and they put in more dramatic stuff, which kind of gives it a weird off-kilter feeling to the movie. Like, you can kind of tell it was put in there and wasn't supposed to be in there, but yeah, I still dig it, and it still was well received, so it doesn't matter. But we got to get down to the winner in a bit. We will get to who thinks who won, so that'll be fun. All right, let's get into the movie real quick. Oh wait, I got to talk about the history. Willis O'Brien was a stop motion animator who created The Lost World and King Kong. And so he had a hard career because what happened was King Kong won an Oscar for best special effects. He refused to accept it unless they made statues for all the people who worked with him, because he thought that their work was just as well deserved for an Oscar. And whenever he put that down, or when he didn't go to the Oscars, he was ostracized from Hollywood at that point. So it wasn't until the 50s and 60s, whenever he made Mighty Joe Young, and he actually won an Oscar for that. But he, in the 60s, decided he wanted to do a movie with King Kong versus Frankenstein and do it stop motion and actually bring back his character design of King Kong. And basically, he had so many projects that fell through. He went and got a producer for this. And this producer went behind his back, went to Toho and said, hey, I have a script for King Kong versus Frankenstein. Are you interested in it? Maybe putting one of your monsters in it. And they were, because there hadn't been a Godzilla movie in about 10 years at that point. It was 10 or 15 years. I can't remember. And so basically Toho said, yeah, we'll use it. They took the script. They totally rewrote it keeping a couple of the elements. The main key element being Kong is recharged by electricity. That's not in the original. That's something that's unique to this. And it upset Willis O'Brien so much he actually had a heart attack and died. So fucking crazy backstory there.
Enjoying this episode? Go check out Geekster, a dating and friends app for geeks that focuses on common interests as a way to make meaningful connections. Download today on the App Store or click the link in the description to find out more. Geekster, this is what happens when nerds collide. Geekster, available on iOS and Android.
With that said, let's get into the movie. Who wants to begin? I don't even know where to begin. Good, Raph.
I want some of those berries.
Yeah, dude, narcotics, right? Dude, they were getting high.
That guy had that jar of them and talking about the tribe won't give them
like
up.
Everlasting gobstoppers, bro.
I'm thinking, how many
the squid and King Kong both need to be sent to opioid treatment for sure. Thrown in it because the squid came down from a mountain and just to fucking have some of the berries. And the squid, that, I mean, dude, the sound design is actually pretty fucking good for this movie, for the age. Like the sounds the squid makes are some of the most uncomfortable, like whatever that the stickiness of the tentacles and just how slimy he sounds, and it rules.
Yeah.
That was a real squid, right?
For the most part, up until the part where Kong starts fighting him, and it's fake as shit.
I thought that was really good green screen use, especially for 62.
Yeah. it's no Star Wars, but you can definitely see what they're going for. Some of it's really bad, but it also adds into the fun of it. You know what I mean? Like the story is still told, even though it's not all great. But as long as you tell the story in the best way possible, I think that's what matters. You know. Raph, what were you gonna say? Oh, well, you already said it. Hobby, let's go to you because hopefully it won't go out. The miniature work. No, it's all right. The miniature work. You were saying that you really appreciated that.
Like I love that miniature work, like with the like little tanks and the fucking Huey helicopters flying by. I don't know. I just really like that aesthetic, and I think that could be done like today in a really awesome, non-ironic way. Like the whole tank scene. Whenever I see a little tank, I just kept imagining a little Shia LaBeouf and a little Brad Pitt in there, firing their little rockets at Godzilla.
Oh, you could intersperse scenes from that movie and this movie.
I was thinking that whenever I saw the tank, like, you know, that would be pretty funny.
Did anyone else notice they kept showing the satellite over and over again, and there's like a little sperm floating up to it? Like, I kept going like, what is with this little sperm going up there? That was ridiculous. I like with the tanks too, the fact that they melt, like you can tell it's plastic melting, but it's still just so much fun. And you know, the storyline with the submarine going up to the iceberg and everyone died on it. What was that? Like,
that was the worst scene. So when they hit the iceberg, every prop in there just came off the ground. Nothing was glued down. It was so hilarious.
Again, it just had to be so fun to make this movie. I just imagine a bunch of Japanese like Sid from Toy Stories just torching fucking toy tanks and just, you know, just having the time of their fucking lives, dude.
I like on the submarine too that the commander has the deepest voice. That's how you know he's in charge. He's like, you don't go near that. I don't have a deep voice.
You know he doesn't talk like that.
I apologize. I don't have a deep voice.
The American part. What were you saying, Miles?
Oh, go ahead, dude.
Oh, I was just saying what you were talking about, how there's the American and Japanese version. That is interesting because I had always noticed that the Japanese parts are so dubbed over. But then the American newscast or the submarine, you know, it's like they're not dubbed; they're actually voicing it. And so I didn't know that. But what were you saying, Miles?
It does feel like it's like two movies kind of interjected in a weird way, but it worked, and it's probably just because of the nature of like Joey said at the top about how this really feels like a movie where it's people playing with toys. And so much of this reminds me of, I always, me and my friends when we were kids, we'd set up these like elaborate battles with our army men. And it would probably take us, it felt like 3 hours to set them up and then probably 12 seconds for the war to occur or whatever. But that's like probably my favorite part about this type of movie is not actually the plot itself, but just seeing like, wow, you could almost see a David Jessup's type's hands just reaching down and moving these little figures around as you're going through the film.
Yeah, 100%. And it's just, that's what makes it so much fun is like, I've always thought when I was a kid and even now, the talking stuff is the boring stuff in these movies. Just let's get to the monsters fighting. And the monsters only fight for a total of like 10 or 15 minutes in this. But
and that's why the newscast stuff does kind of suck. Like other than like the dope, like whatever berries, like pretty much the first half hour is just like, are we going to get some fighting monsters? Or is this just like island girls that have those plastic lays on? Which is fine.
Which I enjoyed. But once again, is it racist? It's extremely racist.
Oh, absolutely.
I was like, when we showed up
in the 60s.
I turned to my girlfriend and I said, is Asian actors wearing blackface wrong? She goes, it's still fucking wrong. And then she left the room. Like she was mad at me.
Well,
I was like, I apologize.
It's so great. It's so funny. It's the funniest part of this movie. Like that when I say it's a good, bad movie, it's stuff like that ages. And first off, not only did they paint children in blackface, but they're giving them real cigarettes.
And smoking in front of your mom.
They got blackface and black lungs.
Yeah.
Dude,
I like the scene where the mom, like you think for a second the mom's gonna be like no, but she's like just grabbing a cigarette too.
She looked pissed too.
She's butt fuck lighting it.
Yeah, she was. Yeah, I thought that was great. But yeah, I mean the storyline is very sparse. Like you have the girlfriend of the one guy, and she gets kidnapped by Kong. He was the only brunette to ever get kidnapped by Kong. It's always been blondes otherwise. And like King Kong, the suit looks like shit, but in a loving, like bat nipple kind of way, because he's got the nipples hanging out. No, you didn't like the suit, Raph? What?
Not at all, bro. It was
think
like at one point
dirty?
he got fatter. I think it was two different people because at one point he got fatter. I'm like, when did King Kong gain all this fucking weight?
He's been eating that juice, man. That cherry juice.
Who knew
The
King Kong was just basically Ezra Miller. He just does a lot of opioids and assaults women. That's like his thing, dude.
Yeah, the suit looks
It's a bummer that they canceled the Lady Kong movie that was in production at this time. Just put that on the shelf.
No, they should.
That would have been great.
No,
Lady Kong.
the with the puppet too. The puppet
Trying to make a
head looks
Batgirl
amazing.
joke. It didn't work. It's fine.
It's all good. But the puppet head doesn't work. It looks derpy as hell. But I love all of it. I just love how crazy it is and like how bad it is at the same time. Yeah, the storyline though, I don't really know what to say. What happened? Did anyone else follow the storyline at all? I mean, I'm 37 and I barely put it together.
I don't even.
But do you need to? You know,
I mean, kind of like it's
Like,
80 minutes is like the storyline, which I have no idea what happened.
it's a lot of setup that you really just ignore waiting for a monster fight. You know what I mean? Like,
Well,
It's
it was the pharmaceutical company who started it all. They
yeah.
wanted the berries, they wanted Godzilla, and then they went and got the guy. The funniest line is when that guy says, "I want my own monster," and then they
Yeah.
go on.
Which is the whole mentality of a good guy with a gun stops a bad guy with a gun. You know, it's like, oh, well, if I have my gun, you know, we'll cause more destruction, but save like.
Raph, I want to get some of that super weed you had, man. Because I know sometimes when you smoke your weed, all of a sudden you become like real in tune with what's happening in the movie. You're just like, no, it's the pharmaceutical companies, man. I was like, oh
I'm
shit.
just thinking that it's like a conspiracy theory.
Yeah, it's like you wouldn't believe
Spider
it.
Menace.
Whoa.
It's my superpower.
King
His-
Kong
his-
on.
His
But so yeah, pharmaceutical companies are bad. I mean, did the comedy work for anyone? Like when he almost goes and sits on the dynamite? Like I thought that I would like to watch the original Japanese version and see how much of the comedy's there. You know what I mean?
Can we talk about how bad of a shot those guys were trying to shoot the dynamite? They're basically the stormtrooper like aim.
Yeah.
Missing everything. Also, one of the funniest parts too is the long drawn out when they're showing the wire when they're eating the steaks and he's showing that steel wire, right? And he jumps off the balcony and the guy, it's like a long drawn out scene. The guy's like, no, stop it. No, don't do that. And he says it like 10 times. And his homie's just like leaning off a balcony. Like it's
It literally sets up if you show a gun in the first act, you have to use it in the third. And who knew that's how they were going to get Kong there? Super spider wire and freaking hydrogen balloons or whatever is going on. And you know what's funny? It's the second day in a row that we realized Japan uses hydrogen balloons. Because didn't we talk about that yesterday, Hobby? They use them for pine nut harvesting or something like that.
Yeah, that was in China yesterday. This guy, he was harvesting pine nuts, and the way they do it, it's like a cherry. I'm already frozen again.
So it's like a
Aren't I?
cherry picker on a balloon is what it is. Yeah. And so, yeah, you were going out. I apologize, Hobbs. Hobbs, don't be frustrated. Just stick around.
I'm not crying. You're all crying.
Yeah, they use the wire to Gulliver's travel him.
Yeah. Bring him over there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I also like that the army sets up like a pretty decent trap for Godzilla and they get him for a second. But
Yeah, they're very Wile E. Coyote in this movie, just setting up these traps that never work, you know, and then they have their Home Alone moment, right? Where one of them finally works.
They're like, we got him. Nah, you
Yeah.
didn't. You never get Godzilla. The design of Godzilla, I like in this one, but I don't like it as much as it would become later. This one's still kind of scary looking. Whereas later it becomes more family friendly. With this one does have the bigger pupils and stuff like that, but still it's just a little bit creepy, a little bit weird.
Bouncy.
Yeah, it's just a little bit weird looking.
Giant salamanders.
So the actor was actually he was sewn into the suit, and it was the same actor for movie over movie and movie. But the guy playing King Kong wanted to show that he was stronger than the actor in Godzilla suit, so he literally picked him up over his head without help and threw him. Like that's insanity. Because you got to imagine these suits add an extra 50 to 100 pounds easy. You know, oh god damn it, I love Godzilla movies. I really do. I want to start a Godzilla podcast, but I just don't know how you get it's the same thing over and over again. So
Yeah.
there is a lot of social commentary in these movies. So.
How big are the guys in the suits? You said about one of the guys contesting strength. Were they like pretty big dudes?
Yeah, they were pretty beastly. The guy who played Godzilla was a judo champion. And
wow.
the guy who played
It was
King
two
Kong,
Bruce
same
Lee
thing.
characters in there.
Yeah, they weren't fucking around, dude. They had a
dude.
good time. Yeah. Other than that, Raph, what you got on your list? Maybe we'll.
I want to hear what Jay thought about the fighting, because there was a lot of fighting between them when he's shooting them with the plasma. He's not hitting them, and all that was drawing, wasn't it?
Yeah, yeah, I believe so. I mean, are you talking about the fighting between Godzilla and King Kong, or?
Yeah.
I mean, I thought it was pretty well choreographed. I mean, there's definitely some wrestling moves going on there, so I'm sure they had someone helping to choreograph it. I was actually doing a little bit of MMA commentary. I was like, oh, he's got him on sidebound. He's going in for the ground and pound, over the shoulder. Oh, here we go.
I found myself doing the same thing watching the movie, making a lot of comments, going back to what Joey says about being a good, bad movie. I think it is, because you can literally commentate yourself and have fun. Sorry, Jay, go ahead.
No, that's fine. I mean, yeah, we get what we want out of this. I mean, this was pretty monumental. I mean, I really do have to say it really did fuck over King Kong, especially considering it was 27 years. I think 35 is when King Kong came out. Don't quote me. I don't know. But a movie that won an Oscar for special effects, and we get a very schlocky suit. The movie made a lot of money, but yeah, I thought they really did Kong dirty, and I almost wonder sometimes if that was like on purpose, because it was a comedy, but at the same time I just thought he deserved a little bit, because I thought Godzilla looked great. I mean, they knew how to shoot Godzilla. Like they kept him when they kept the shots at night. I thought those were amazing.
1933. You were pretty close on that one.
Given the history that Ducky had talked about, I mean, clearly they want, Godzilla's their monster. They want people leaning towards Team Godzilla, right?
He's the home team champ, dude. Yeah.
Well, then you get the American version, and they made very clear to go, Godzilla, tiny, tiny, tiny brain. And then King Kong, big, massive brain. That
South
was
Park
totally
did the same thing, but with dicks. So,
What are they told? No, that's 100% a ripoff of this. That was absolutely inspired. I definitely feel that way.
So yeah, who do you think won? That's what it comes down to at the end of it. It's a 10-minute fight. It's pretty good back and forth. No one's really winning, and at the end there is a definitive winner, which I didn't know until today. Jay told me, and then I looked it up when I got home, and I was like, holy shit, there is. Because I'd always heard it was a draw. I always heard in the Japanese version Godzilla won, in the American version King Kong won, and then I've always heard ever since that was untrue. It was a draw. It is not. There's a definitive winner. So going down the line, Javi, who do you think won?
My boy Kong.
Maybe we'll find out. All right, Javi for Kong. Miles, what you got? Who you think won?
I didn't get to the end, bro. So I'll just say I wish I would have seen the WWE version where the ref gets knocked out. We don't, get some shenanigans at the end.
Ref out. Okay. Raph, who do you think won?
Well, going back to that scene at the end where they're fighting, you can actually see there was a lot of comic fucking acting going on there. Especially when Godzilla rolls Kong down the hill and then kicks him in the face, starts kicking rocks on him, then starts tail whipping him, and then starts roasting him. I could not stop laughing. I'm like, bro, he's dead, right? He's dead. No, King Kong comes back. He starts bitch slapping Godzilla, and then he fucking starts electrocuting him like Raiden. I'm like, what the fuck? It was fucking awesome, bro. But at the end, I think I'm gonna have to give it to fucking Godzilla.
Godzilla, it is.
All right, can I just say I need Raph to do a playback of every monster fight?
Yes, I agree with you. That was pretty good. I like that. Jay, who do you think won?
I can pinpoint it down to an exact science, and Miles, you'll appreciate this. Basically, what you had in the last 5 minutes, King Kong hit him with all of his 5 moves of doom. We got laser breath, we got rocks, we got tail whip, we got all these things. All of a sudden, lightning strikes King Kong. He totally hulks out, starts pointing at fucking Godzilla. And is now it's on. Grabs him by his tail, starts whipping him around. They start doing their thing, going back and forth, and then we get a scene directly out of Rocky 2. They both go over the hill. They both hit the water. You're like, who's going to answer the 10 count first? Sure as shit, no Godzilla is seen. King Kong gets up. de facto winner, and this was in both countries. This is the one thing they could agree on. King Kong won. King Kong won.
Joe, who do you think won?
I'm right with Jay. King Kong won. And I remember I've always been a bigger Godzilla fan. And I remember at a young age, that is the one drawback to this movie I hated the most was Godzilla losing. I mean, at that age, that was almost crying material, you know? And I got to say, like the electricity thing, I've never been a fan of. Who knew all it took to defeat Godzilla was a pair of socks and some good carpet, you know? But, King Kong won.
And I'm going to say Godzilla won because I want him to win, but the truth is Kong fucking won.
No, because they made a Godzilla after this and not a King Kong.
So here's what happened. You're right. There's been way more Godzilla movies than King Kong movies.
That's why he won.
Godzilla won. But
I'd say the King Kong movies are better though.
That's debatable. But here's the thing. At the end of it, you obviously see Kong going through into the sunset, you know what I mean? Which was the giant water tank they built that was 200 feet long and 200 feet deep. It was crazy. It looks just like it looks like the ocean. It's awesome. But you see him going into the sunset. He won. They were to make a sequel movie, actually, King Kong versus Godzilla again, basically. And at the beginning of it, you would see Godzilla licking his wounds and then coming back for a rematch. But the movie was never made. So King Kong wins this, however you want to say it.
You see Godzilla licking his groin. It's like, I'll be all right.
Raph, you got anything else on your list?
Oh, man, I had so much on here.
The
fucking when they go to the island, there was no child labor laws back then. Those kids were fucking tearing those berries up, bro. Yeah. And then the fact that those fucking Asian guys came and gave them cigarettes, and then like, we got them, they're hooked, bro. They knew about that shit back in the day. They were showing you right there in that movie. Yeah. Favorite scene has to be the octopus. That was fucking awesome. I didn't know it was a real octopus, but I was like, that has to be right. So that's fucking crazy.
Dude, octopus like just of normal size are pretty legit terrifying on pure intelligence alone. Like if they wanted to, I think they could destroy the human race and take over the planet.
Absolutely. What else you got, Raph?
They can't start shooting his sister because he was in his hand. I'm pretty sure she's dead if Kong picks her up. He's not gonna.
Whenever he falls asleep, like you don't think he's gonna crush a little bit on accident? Like, come on.
And then
and what a good find too. He just picks up the train. He's like, "Here we go," dumps her out.
Go.
Yeah.
When they shoot the balloon. When they shoot the balloons, the animation was really there. I was like, that's clearly a cartoon. And then
I missed that.
The like rockets that were exploding when he fell asleep.
And when they're shooting the cocaine above his head, the cocaine, if you will, and he's taking it in. He's like, "Oh, I love this cocaine."
He's literally an addict. He's an addict, dude.
He is a fucking nods out and shit.
Oh. Yeah, it's like, he passed out from the berry heroin. Like, cocaine from the sky.
Heroin, dude. You just came up with a fucking. You're living in 3022, bro.
And then at the end of the fight, I forgot to mention, Kong shoves a tree in his mouth, and then he just starts jerking him off.
Yeah, the tree in the mouth is pretty epic, man. That'll stick with you. Crazy. And that pagoda gets it so good. Like, I love the miniature destruction of the pagoda at the end. And I'm just like, yeah, they see that pagoda and they're like, fuck that thing. We're taking it down.
I like how Duck is just randomly throwing out the word pagoda, like he uses it in everyday sense.
I'm not even 100% sure that's what it's called.
Yeah, I'm more of a fan of the southern design.
I thought that was one of the guys' names.
You know what? The guy's name was Vegeta, right? Or Fajita.
Yeah. And they got Dragon Ball C names.
Yeah. 100%.
That was it, bro.
All right, cool. All right, does anyone else have anything else to add about the movie?
I just want to talk about how brutal those tail whips in the last scene are. When you think he's like beating Kong to death, dude. Those tail whips feel pretty. Those are some pretty lofty tail whips right there, dude.
I like it whenever. Yeah, and he's right on the dick with them too. He's spectacular, man. It looks painful. I like when Kong plays hide and go seek with him. I thought that was great too. We'll get to it here in clips. We'll get to it. All right, let's go to recommend. Javi, do you recommend the movie?
Absolutely.
Fuck yes. Fuck yes. Maz, do you recommend the movie?
Absolutely. Give it a watch.
Fuck yes. Raph.
Absolutely.
Sounded just like Hobbs. Jay, do you recommend it?
Fuck yeah, man.
Fuck yeah. And Joey, finally, do you recommend the movie?
It was my pick, I do, and I think everyone does. I feel like a winner right now. I think this is the first one I've been on that I've heard all recommendations. I will bask in this moment and absolutely recommend this movie.
Hell yeah. You Konged it, man. You won.
Feels like
the
a
battle.
child with a cigarette right now. Just happens to
Got my
We should all smoke in celebration with Joey.
Yes. Everyone have a cigarette and or whatever else you smoke. Hey everyone, it's just Duck jumping in here real quick to say thank you so much for checking out the podcast today. If you're enjoying it, head over to your favorite podcast app, Spotify, Stitcher, Podbean, or iTunes, and give We Are Podcast Network a like. And just so you know, the next section of the podcast will be clips from the movie, so you can find replays of the live video stream at twitch.tv/We Are Podcast Network and youtube.com/We Are Podcast Network. Once again, all links can be found in the description. Come check out our live stream every Monday at 8 p.m. And for a full list of future films, check out our social media. You can find us at Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at /We Are Podcast. And with that, back to the Horrorcast. All right, let's watch these freaking clips. And how do I get to them? Here we go. Space Sperm. Here, check it out.
Carter in New York.
About right there.
Hello, Eric.
Oh wow.
This is Rodrigo Infanta reporting via ICS.
What is this? Is that a satellite or a
UN
space
newsroom in
station?
Santiago de...
There it
Hello,
is.
Eric.
Space Sperm.
This is Rodrigo Infanta
What
reporting
is that?
via ICS.
When they were reporting, I thought the guy was in that. I'm like, are they in fucking space?
They might have been in that, to be honest with you. Like, I don't know.
Kind of looks like it.
Steak.
Hey, that's not fair. Look, how come your boyfriend's steak is bigger than your brother's?
Sakurai, stop it.
That's
Shut the fuck
a
up.
statement right there.
Fujita. Eat, honey. I
Fujita.
made the steak for you.
I like how she's pouting over too. Dr. Derp, this I'm sorry. It's so stupid. He doesn't say anything. He just I thought it was funny.
What do you make of that?
Yep, not a goddamn thing.
I think they cut his line.
It's fucking Godzilla.
Look there, Al. In the water.
So they're in a swimming pool there?
Yeah.
Godzilla!
Oh, so badass. There he is. Godzilla attacks.
The micro machine.
Yeah, you can clearly see it like melting, but it's
Yeah.
still cool.
And the track of it actually came off. Oh, you gotta retreat. Sweet Jesus. So the toes on Godzilla only has 3 toes in this movie. The number 4 is represented as something evil in Japan. So in the original movie in Godzilla Raids Again, they had 4 toes on them, and then they changed to 3 because they were doing a comedy. IMDb
Alright.
trivia for the win.
Nice.
Slam!
Fuck your water tower.
Smoke.
Inhale.
They satisfy.
Cigarettes. Bringing the world together.
Too bad. We forgot to bring candy.
Look at her face. Like, you're really gonna give him that cigarette?
Oh.
Look how concerned the mom is.
That kid smokes all the time, though. He went like this. He did the universal
He
cigarette.
got 2.
They're like, bitch.
King Kong arrives. There he is.
He's like, where's my drink, bitch?
I gotta get my berry juice on.
You want my drink? Where's my syrup and virgins?
Get out of here, you damn octopus. Look how fake it looks there.
And he face fucks him.
Ew.
The noise.
It's nasty, dude.
I've heard that noise before.
You hear that noise every night. This
I should
episode
call
brought
her.
to you by Fleshlight. Get your fleshlight.
Kong gets crunk.
Bro, he drank so much.
Go get that goddamn berry juice.
I love the
Yes,
zoom
sir.
in they do.
Oh
It's just a
man,
little-
but
little
they
shot.
Oh, that's tasty.
Is that a
This one's
claymation
ugly.
there? What is that?
It's a puppet.
That's a puppet.
You thirsty, man. Then they play the King Kong song. Now this song, the song where they're praising him and stuff, is the only bit of the music that is left over from the Japanese version. Everything else was replaced.
Let's
Oh,
go
wow.
home. We're going. Go, no, we're going home.
Big
It's
Temple of
home.
Doom
We're going.
vibes with that song.
Mhm.
Absolutely. Dynamite!
Stop! Don't. That's dynamite. Press that lever and pow goes Kong. Pow? Don't you understand?
Bow?
Dynamite is wired to that fuse.
Train tragedy.
And then it doesn't work. That's why you always buy your dynamite in America.
Oh.
Hey, come back! You'll be killed! You'll be killed!
God.
That was the best acting. David Jessup does this shit all the time.
Little rock. Yeah, dresses up in a Godzilla suit, goes after the miniature. Rock tossing. Get out of here.
Yeah, that's pretty comical right there. He's like, oh, you can get me. Come
I
on,
have the high
put him
ground,
up.
Anakin.
Quit!
Oh,
What a
shit.
Kong. He's chicken.
What? He's right there. All right, this cracked me
General
up.
Shinzo. Godzilla reported in close vicinity. He'll be here by night.
He'll be here by night, he says. He's literally right there over the hill.
Well, he has
Like,
to detour around the giant lizard monster, dude.
Ah,
It takes time.
Yeah, he's got the hut.
ouchies. Oh, fuck that shit. Nah, I'm good.
That hurt. I'm going the other way. They just turned him around.
I really have expected him to like give them the finger right there. You guys suck.
Like, fuck you guys. I'm out of here.
Konging 2 Electric Boogaloo. Tasty.
Give me that juice.
Fuck that building. Fuck that building.
Dude, that felt like that's big rampage vibes right there, dude.
Yeah.
Fuck yes.
George,
Fuck
man.
yes.
Said like Tic Tacs. Those people are dead.
This actually has big vibes of like the Universal Studios ride that used to be in Florida, but it would be like a tram car that would hang from a wire instead of sit on tracks. But
Oh,
like
that was
essentially the idea was there's this giant Kong monster and they actually had him like breathe out banana breath, which was fun. And he would like the simulation made it feel like he was grabbing your car and like
You could
shaking
smell.
you.
You could smell bananas.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
like when it would bring you into his mouth, like he had banana breath, and it was kind of awesome.
I haven't
that's
seen him
so
eat
cool.
one banana during this whole movie.
Yeah, they
Yeah, apparently
So
the
fucked
the
up on
scent of
berries.
rotten human flesh didn't really do it for the ride.
they've updated the Kong ride. I went to the one in LA and it's all with a screen.
Yeah.
So it's literally like you're in a 360 IMAX movie, which is actually still pretty cool, but man, you cannot beat that practical. And there was no banana breath to be had.
There is a Kong, a full like a huge Kong animatronic in the Florida location now, but they still do mostly screens, and you just briefly see him at the very end. And it doesn't hold a candle to the old one that it used to be where the Mummy ride is. If you're familiar with that theme park, the Mummy ride is actually what shut down the original Kong ride. So
Wow.
there's talks and hopes. I don't know if it'll actually happen, but there's been so many beloved Universal Studio rides that have shut down, including Kong and Jaws, Earthquake, a bunch of them, Back to the Future. that there are rumors sprouting up that one of their new park locations is actually going to be retro rides, which I think would be incredible.
That'd be amazing.
We got to give a shout out to Will. He says, I remember that ride. He said a bunch of
Hell
other
yeah,
stuff
dude.
too. I missed it. Sorry, Will.
What's up, Will?
But Will's in the house. Thank you
Will?
very much.
Up, Will.
Oh, yeah. She's screaming. It sounds like fucking put me down.
That's like terrifying, actually.
Yeah. Fucking hell. Fucking put me down. Does it sound like she says fucking help?
He did.
It does.
Dude,
It's a
fucking
kid's
is the same
movie.
in Japanese and English. It makes sense. Yeah.
Kong loves Kong Kane. And he's sniffing it up. Oh yeah. That's something to
Bro,
be-
I would have kidnapped a woman a long time ago if I knew that that's how you had to get drugs. What?
Shout out to Joey's probation officer, by the way.
Yeah. friend of the
Ridiculous.
pod.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
That would actually be a really cool tattoo.
Yeah.
I guess that would be amazing or something.
All right, we're getting into the good stuff now. We're getting into the Max hair. Hide and peek.
You missed, dude. You didn't show us the clip where Kong gets the hot tag and drop kicks him from the hill. Shame.
The turnbuckle.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, I missed it. And peak probably was spelled wrong because I spell everything wrong. It's an ongoing tradition in my life and the podcast.
I'm sorry.
Okay. Leave my tail alone, baby.
I don't know you.
Stranger danger! Stranger danger!
They made him look like such a little bitch trying to climb up those rocks and get away.
Yep. I mean, that looks like a compromise.
That's because Godzilla don't climb.
Bro, these
Very
guys are
calm.
serious actors. They're really trying.
It's so serious, he gets his dick smashed here. Look at this. Burying Kong. Oh, did he just shit and then kick it all over him?
No, he starts kicking him.
Thought that was a
This is
monkey
that
move.
comedy.
This is
Like,
monster teabagging. This is what this is right here.
100%.
Bro,
Stop
he's like
motion
dead. Stop.
A third monster comes in and stops the fight. That's not happening.
No.
Stop motion drop kick.
He does not consent.
Look, you see how big he was there?
Eat that tree, bitch.
Yeah, that was sexual.
He put some stank behind that too.
That was the point where I really didn't feel a need to watch any more of the movie.
So I don't know if this is actually a suplex. I just called it suplex, but you guys can tell me what this move is. So
It's more of a judo throw.
Action figures. They literally look like action figures. It looks so crappy.
It's like when you used to make like a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle and your sister's Barbie fuck.
I never did that.
That's a very specific.
Wow.
Oh
Okay.
no, they say you got to go Pagoda.
Let's not skip over this. Miles, do explain. We're done talking about
For what
Godzilla.
it's worth. I thought that was a common thing.
Nope.
Just me. All right.
Kicking rocks, kicking trees.
I kick rocks too. I kick rocks all goddamn day. This is totally my pagoda now.
I might have lost the battle, but I'm keeping the pagoda.
They're both just taking it out. On the,
All those children in there are dead.
Oh yeah, they're super dead, dude. No, they evacuated this city or whatever. It's fine. They pulled a real Batman versus Superman or v Superman.
Yeah, which adds no stakes to the whole thing, you know?
You need collateral damage.
So in the Toho movies, like building these big structures, these were the money shots. So that's why they put this at the end.
Yeah, it looks like shit.
It's like Legos.
It looks awesome.
That's pretty awesome.
The final hit, which is just a smash and a bash.
Fucking. That's how they fuck like eagles.
Who won? Well, obviously you can tell who won because you see them.
Ooh.
Nah, see that looks like King.
Well,
that looks like
Well,
Godzilla.
well, that's just it. See, this right here, this is what I like to call a teaser, because that move of swimming under the water, that was a classic Godzilla move.
Yeah.
And so everyone was taught like, okay, Godzilla gets the win, but no, sure as shit, Kong emerges.
They actually became lovers, and Godzilla was blowing him out under the water.
Yeah, 100%. After that,
to Boca.
that
What a
wasn't
great poster.
that wasn't fighting. That was foreplay, is what you're saying.
Yes.
All right, let's do some recommendations. I mean, that was King Kong versus Godzilla. Let's do some recommendations. Okay, first one's going to be King Kong, the 1933 film. Fucking killer movie, still holds up. Lots of fun. You can watch it in Ultra HD now if you want, which really smooths over a lot of the wonderful stop motion animation done once again by Willis O'Brien. Just a great movie, really holds up. I don't know how long has it been since you guys saw this. I highly suggest you go back and give it a watch. Like it's killer.
You can't make me.
I will.
Oh, yeah, you
Second
can
recommendation will be King Kong versus Godzilla or Godzilla versus King Kong, whatever you call it. The new one from 1922, 21.
Whoa.
I mean, 2021. My bad. I like this movie. It was stupid. It was fun. It was great. It was so. I don't even know. I can't recommend it in the sense that like it's a good movie, but it's a fun bad movie, and you really feel for Kong. Kong really becomes like a very sympathetic character. I just dig it. I'd watch it again. It's definitely shake your brain off. Enjoy it.
Godzilla and the No Good Very Bad Day for King Kong.
Yeah, it's very much a King Kong movie.
Here's my thing. Like King Kong's never gets to be the bad guy. King Kong's always the good guy. I want to see one where Kong like he's the heavy. Like I want like okay, I'm gonna spoil it. I don't give a shit. But when fucking Godzilla wins this, like they make it so definitive that not only does Godzilla win, but like King Kong straight up taps out in like his own monster way. Like they were like, no, there ain't gonna be any bullshit. And this is an American movie. Let's not get it twisted. Godzilla gets to win the American movie. That's very impressive.
Yeah, I dig it, dude. It's a fun movie. It's just the neon Tokyo scene, the fighting of spoilers, Mega Godzilla at the end, or Mecha Godzilla. I apologize. It's just great. Good times, good times. You guys have any recommendations?
Yeah, we've got a couple.
Yeah.
Hit them up.
Me?
Miles,
All right.
you want to go first?
Yeah, I'll start. I've got three of them. I've got
Damn,
Colossal,
straight.
which is one I think Jay recommended a few weeks back. It's a fun, if you're into like the kaiju movies, it's just a fun comedy with Anne Hathaway like blacking out drunk and becoming a kaiju monster. It's great. I also really like Pacific Rim. It's more of an action movie where basically we've created these like robots to fight against kaijus. Super fun, kind of silly, easy to watch and a good time. And then only because I just watched a like making of documentary of it, Jaws 4, only because it's it's not a good movie, but it is a fun monster movie. And I just found out like yesterday that it actually has different endings in the United States and overseas, because the original ending was them ramming Jaws with the mast of their boat and just stabbing through them. But essentially the American audience had already gotten used to like an explosion, an electrocution, and then another explosion in the first three. So they're kind of like, that's weak sauce. We want to see the shark blow up. So they made another version for the US where they blow up Jaws again. But if you watch it in like Japan, let's say, you get to see the original ending where they just rammed it with the boat and stabbed it. And it was arguably a much more logical conclusion to that very ridiculous film.
Very nice. Very nice. Who's next on recommendation?
I got two.
All right, what you got, Trey?
I got two kaiju movies that I recommend. 2006, Bong Joon-ho, The Host.
The Host is excellent.
The Host is awesome. Definitely
good.
see that. Anything he does is fucking great. And then also The First Cloverfield.
Hell
I
yeah.
Really can't
enjoyed
go-
the shit out of that. I got a
can't go wrong
hand
with
job
it.
while watching that the second time, and I was so
Nice.
stoned I couldn't come. And then finally, at the end of the movie, when the movie was climaxing, I climaxed too.
That's how good of a
Nice.
movie it is.
Yeah, it's excellent. Javi, what you got?
I got three, so I want to just name them all before my internet cuts out on me. Big Man Japan, Troll Hunter. I just saw it yesterday for like the 30th time, and Attack of the 50-Foot Woman starring Daryl Hannah and Billy Baldwin.
Nice.
Very nice.
93. Good movie.
Troll Hunter is beast. Raph, Jay, what you got?
Go for it, Ref.
Man, all I have is Sharknado. That's a stupid fucking movie. Guys, just get drunk and watch that movie. It's
That movie
stupid.
is so fun.
Yeah, we watched Sharknado 5 or something on Good Time Boys. Like, I didn't remember what it was, but I was like, I'm loving every second of this fucking movie. Jay, what you got?
Well, the only thing I'd really recommend, because this movie kind of gets them fighting juices flowing, is the SNK classic for the Neo Geo, King of the Monsters.
Hell
A
yeah.
Nice.
phenomenal game. You can get it on Switch now. It's really cool. The idea behind the game is, Miles and I were big, huge wrestling fans, and they literally take the concept of giant monsters in pro wrestling and they merge it into one. For example, the fighting arenas are like Tokyo or whatever, and they have these huge electrified fences that you can't go past, but you can spring off them like they're ropes and stuff. You can literally do pile drivers. You can do body slams. You have all sorts of different. And I think it definitely had at least one sequel. But in the first game, there was no King Kong type creature, and I think they couldn't get the rights to it, so they used a golem instead. And I thought that was a pretty cool choice. In the first one, they have a giant beetle like a megalon. They have a lizard. They have a jet jaguar character named Astro Guy, who is clearly like the best. But yeah, King of the Monsters, can't go wrong. 30-year-old classic. I highly recommend.
They had that at my local Pizza Hut when I was like 7, and it was
Dude.
like just a quarter eater, but I loved it.
Oh my God, that game. Oh yeah, and so I was in Vegas. I was in Las Vegas. I was 12 years old, and King of the Monsters 2 came out, and I was like, holy shit. Dude, I must have spent $5 in less than 5 minutes. And it was insane.
You got it on what, Hobbs?
I got another recommendation because Jay brought up like monsters in wrestling. It made me think of Arena.
Well, with great value, Christopher Reeve and the guy from Creepshow 2.
Got sucked into like he got killed by the monster in the lake. But
Hell yeah.
Arena is like he wrestles like monsters in space, and it's fucking awesome. I suggest if you haven't seen Arena, watch Arena. Like what that came on 87, 86?
I believe it came out in I want to say 91, but I could be wrong.
Damn straight. Hobbs, tell them where they can find you on the internet.
You can find me on TikToks and Instagrams at Javi Bear Studios.
Very nice. Miles, tell them where they can find you on the internet.
You can find me pretty much everywhere at Mr. Most Days Off. And do me a favor and vote for me in this ridiculous horror competition that I'm doing. I'm currently in second place, so I appreciate your guys, first of all. And you can do that. All the links are on my every social media at Mr. Most Days Off.
Just remind us every day as you have been. And
Thanks,
I always vote, man. It's where it's at.
I
Raph,
appreciate
where can
it.
they find you on the internet?
So yeah, it's been brought to my attention that when you search my name now, soccer player comes up because he's been posting a bunch of shit. So I am working on my new one, and I'll have it out next week. But if you want to look me up right now, just put Raphael and Fest, and I'll be the first one to come up.
Very cool.
yeah.
Joey, where can they find you on the internet?
It's right there by my name. It's Joey Quits Comedy on Instagram and Twitter. Also, are we doing plugs or just the internet?
Yeah, plug away.
Okay. Basement Manifesto, my podcast that I do at Hyenas Comedy Club in Fort Worth. And then November 4th, I will be featuring for Jim Florentine at Hyenas in
nice.
Fort Worth.
Very
So
nice.
come see that. That'll be a sick show.
Old
Very
Jim.
nice. Very nice. And you can find us on the internet at wearepodcast.podbean.com, where you can find all the podcasts. Check us out on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, / We Are Podcast. And of course, you can find us every Monday for Camp / Horrorcast, where we talk horror movies from the past live at 8 p.m. Central. Next week's movie is, I don't know. We'll find out what it's going to be, and I will put it out on the internet, so you will find out. With that said, keep horror in your heart. Thank you all for being here. Much appreciated. Much appreciated. And with that said, I will cut the feed. And there it is. Thank you again so much for checking out the podcast today. If you enjoyed it, head over to your favorite podcast app, Spotify, Stitcher, Podbean, and iTunes, and give We Are Podcast Network a like. And since this is Camp/Horrorcast, if you want to check us out live, we will be on Twitch and YouTube every Monday at 8 p.m. Central Time. You can find us at twitch.tv/We Are Podcast Network and youtube.com/We Are Podcast Network. And if you've enjoyed this podcast, you're going to love the other podcasts here on the We Are Podcast Network. We have We Are Air, where we talk movies, entertainment, whatever the fuck we want to talk about. That's me, that's Jake, and that's Javi. We're breaking down that pop culture, and we're having so much fun. And don't forget to check out We Are Bagu, a video game podcast, where we talk Atari to Steam and everything in between. That's me and Dr. Ethan Eastwood breaking down all that video game lore, heroes, Gyros, a Dungeons and Distractions side quest. Me and the boys were playing some D&D. You can start that one from Season 1, Episode 1. It's a blast the whole way through. And I Hate Being Sober. Personal stories from epic people. I sit down with some of my favorite people of all time. We talk about their trials, their tribulations, and their journey this far. Also, check the links in the description for our social media. You can find us at Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at /We Are Podcast Network. With that said, hopefully we see you in the live stream.